Today, I would like to talk about how to write a letter for grant or a letter of intent and how it is different from writing a grant proposal. Basically, I'll just walk you through some of the articles that give you an overview of writing a grant letter or letter of intent or yellow eye. That might be rephrased or phrased in a different way, and how it is different from writing a grant proposal. So that's something we will discuss today. Let's go to the few other things that give you an overview of this week and the readings. But let me first talk about writing a grant letter itself. So what is grant writing? That's something you need to understand. So grant writing is not an easy job. It's an art. I think you might have figured that out from our previous classes as well. You have to be very clear, to the point and specific, and you should answer the question, meaning you should answer the direction. When you look for RFPs, what is RFP, that you have already known or discussed, or that is in my another video as well. This is when you go through the RFPs, there are certain guidelines, certain the directions. You have to completely follow them, and so that's the reason why it's not easy. And again, sometimes it's not easy. It's because even if you have written an excellent proposal, or even an excellent LOI, letter of intent, there's no guarantee that the funders will approach you and ask you for further steps, or maybe will be ready to fund you, because there might be so many other competitive projects out there, or maybe there are other things that that come into play, whether to fund your project or not to fund your project. Again, based on my experience as well, most of the proposal that I wrote has something to do with the academic proposal, writing. That the proposal I wrote was for funding my academic research project. Basically, it has nothing to do with a not-for-profit or for-profit organization that I represented. I did that just for an individual project, which has something to do with my academic research project. Now, I basically have some experiences of writing a proposal for funding. Based on that, I think out of five proposal that applied to different the funders, I think one of them funded me. That was worth I think around $3,000-4,000 worth, and that was for the purpose of academic the research. So, I followed the direction thoroughly. I addressed their concerns. I try to be very much specific and to the point. And also, I ask for a couple of other reviewers to go through my proposal and make sure that it is good to go. Getting their feedback and addressing the proposal and trying to make it much more clearer, but still some of the organizations didn't fund that fund the project that I had applied for, but one of them just came out and then, okay, so here is the funding for you. So again, that's what I'm saying. So even if your proposal or letter of intent is excellent or wow, you cannot be sure whether your project will be funded or not. So that's why don't be disheartened, don't be discouraged. You continue working on that. Again, getting back to the writing yellow eye. Sometimes some of the funders or some of the project do not want you to submit a big grant, the proposal in advance. They want you to write a letter of intent first, and based on that, they will decide whether to ask you to proceed further, with the proposal or not. It's a kind of a very summary version of your proposal, which can be wrapped up, within a 2 to 3 or 4 page. But when it comes to writing a grant proposal, then that might be much bigger, or maybe that might be a bit longer than your letter of intent. So again, when you are writing a LOI or letter of intent or a proposal, make sure that you are very aware about the grant deadlines. You don't want to miss that. That's the most important thing when you are asked to submit that proposal. By when, that is something you need to know. And again, you need to know which one is the just you need to choose the right funding window for your project. So when is the right time to submit your LOI or your proposal? That's what you need to be very much aware of. Again, what is the right application process? Whether it is submitting in a paper, or it's a presentation or a video, what is it? Again, you will know that reading the RFP thoroughly. And again, whether they require a letter of inquiry first, letter of intent or letter of inquiry or LOI, whatever you may call it, or they want you to submit a proposal without any letter of inquiry. Just be clear on that, and then you follow accordingly. And again, know whether this is a public competitions or need collaboration, because some of the funders would like to collaborate with you. So what is the objective, or what is the intent, how the RFPs have been designed or written? That's something you want to look for. And again, what is the specific section are required when you're writing a letter of intent or letter of, or a grant proposal. Certain RFPs require certain subtitles or certain sections that you don't want to miss. Whether they want the statement of problem or not, the objective of your project or not, any budget, the table or not, what they want. Just look for that. And again, do they have any minimum amount of words, or the maximum amount of words that you want to have in your project, in your proposal? And what is the page length, what is the format, the document? You have to read that very thoroughly if you are going through the RFPs and submitting a proposal. And again, there are so many other organizations where you can go and then look for the the funding opportunities. There are some federal grants. There are and also you'll be looking for the requirements that depend on the funders. And there are different organizations who have been funding many other non-for-profit or for-profit organizations. Sometimes there's a lot of opportunities for getting funds if your organization is not for profit. But again, there are so many grants opportunities. You have to look for that. There's National Institute of Health grants, National Science Foundation grants, and there are a list of some grant funding website. I basically copied these images from the books the require you to read. And again, how is grant letter different from grant proposal? Again, to some extent, I already explained to you. It's a sort of a summary versus complete. So this is a summary version of your grant proposal. So you might want to go here and then look for the templates. And again, some of the companies and individual investors want to start with a letter of intent that you write before you write a proposal. Grant letter basically should give you a kind of very brief summary. What is your organization is, how authentic it is, what is your objective, how you are going to continue with the project that you have, what is your future funding sources, things like that. So again, this is a watch video, and that will give you a kind of a complete overview of what is letter of intent. So there are some of the articles, where the money is, a framework for applying for grants. This is a very good articles you might want to read. This also gives you an opportunity, overview of the different places where you can go and look for the funding opportunities. Sometimes you can Google, and again, establish a good relationship with the funders. That's something we discussed last week. And again, there are some of the tips and the ideas for you to gather and then know about the funding opportunities. There are some couple of videos you might want to watch. And again, if you Google, or you just type in on YouTube about funding opportunities or writing a grant letter, you will get tons of information. So that's something you will do for this week. And again, regarding the assignments for this week, you have a discussion question about grant letter. That is something you will post as your first draft, and then based on your peers and your the instructors' comments and feedback, you'll revise it and submit it as an assignment of your grant letter. So if you have any questions, please drop your comments or let me know. That's something you will do for this week, and good luck.